Hey guys, today's BRS Spotlight is on the new line of Somatic sump and skimmers by Vertex. The Somatic systems are Vertex's solution for a more affordable option that still meets the quality standards that they're known for. In fact, most of the other sump options in this size range are in the $300 to $400 range alone. We're looking at a sump and a skimmer with a custom C-shape pump for the same amount or even less in some cases, which is a pretty sweet deal. They achieve this through a very simple design that out of the box doesn't have a tremendous amount of bells and whistles, just the core of what a sump needs to be at an ultra low price point, and allows you to modify or upgrade to your own needs or desires. As time goes on, I think more and more reefers are looking for these relatively blank boxes, which allow them to adjust to their reef tank system design plans. This is valuable, not just now, but also in the future when you may want to make changes as well. And I certainly know that a lot of us are looking for the most affordable solutions. One of the other benefits here is you do get a Vertex quality skimmer under the Somatic brand name without the bells and whistles, but amongst the industry best price point for a skimmer this size. It not only performs well, but also probably one of the easiest to assemble skimmers that I've encountered. So which one best fits your tank? They currently make 3 different models, the Somatic 60, 90, and 120. The 60 has 2 chambers, a 16.5 by 16.5 footprint, and as the name suggests, a solid option for 60 gallons and under. And the 16.5 dimensions are particularly useful in a 2-foot 60-gallon cube. The Somatic 90 is, as you might have guessed, designed for 90 gallons or less. At 14.9 inches wide and 24 inches long, that means it can fit most common tanks, which are at least 18 inches deep front to back. My guess is this will be a slightly more common option because it comes with 3 different chambers, a few more accessories are available, and an upgraded larger skimmer appropriate for tanks in this range. And I'm sure you won't be surprised that the Somatic 120 is designed for 120-gallon tanks and smaller, with a footprint of approximately 29 inches long by 16 inches wide. But I'm sure you can use it on slightly larger tanks as well. Just make sure that your overflows and returns are adjusted so the sump can handle the larger volume of water which drains from the tank into the sump when the return pump is off. The 120 has an almost identical layout to the 90, but a larger footprint and water capacity, as well as a larger, more powerful skimmer. Between these 3 options, I think that they've paired a sump and a skimmer to cover a vast majority of the most common tank sizes out there. There are a variety of available but optional accessories for the Somatic sump line. Again, part of the reason why the original sump and skimmer package is so affordable is because it is kind of a blank canvas of sorts. The 60, 90, and 120 have slightly different add-on accessory options, starting with the drain chamber covers, which give a clean look, help route lines, and minimize salt spray. Make sure to get the one which matches your sump size. They also have a 4-inch filter sock holder for the 60, and the 90 and 120 both share the same 7-inch sock holder. This is a nice addition for reefers who like the benefits of straining all the particulate matter out of their tanks. The 60, 90, and 120 all have locations for both the sensor and dosing line tube holder accessories, which are screwed in securely. This is a one-size-fits-all add-on. The 60 also has an optional add-on pump box with baffles, which not only can reduce the amount of micro bubbles, but also allows you to use the add-on basket filter, which is a neat way to use basically any type of filtration media. The 90 and 120 have unique top-off boxes which rest inside the sump and holds 1 3/4 to 2.5 gallons of fresh water. This is just an easy way to keep salinity stable for those of you that don't want to use a typical auto top-off. Externally, they also offer dosing container accessories with the double and triple stack vessels, smaller triangular options which fit into the corner of the 60, and larger rectangular versions which are designed for use with the 90 or 120, but you could really use any of these options with either sump. All of them have a pretty neat nesting function which allows you to send the tubes down from the top to reach each of the chambers. Lastly, they also offer a fluidized reactor for medias like GFO, which are often designed to be tumbled. So we're going to show you which comes with each sump and assemble all of them with all of the accessories so you can get an idea of how this all works together. Starting with what's in the box, all 3 sump sizes contain a fairly blank sump, as well as you'll find the skimmer disassembled into components and securely placed inside the sump. Assembling any of the 3 skimmers is really easy, and in fact the actual assembly and disassembly of the skimmer is probably one of the easiest that I've come across. Just align the pump intake with the hole on the skimmer body and push down. The seal at the bottom holds the 2 pieces together securely. Run the air tube up to the silencer in the standpipe, push the volute onto the pump, and place a collection cup on top. This is maybe a 60-second process that requires zero tools. Well, nice new out of the box for setup. This is something you might actually appreciate even more when it comes time to clean or perform maintenance on the skimmer. Starting with the Somatic 60, we'll add the available accessories. The dosing line is located fairly high. Find the two threaded holes, remove the rubber stoppers, and screw in the dosing line holders. Note that it's located fairly high like this to make sure that you don't submerge the lines, which can cause siphon issues. Very similar to that is a sensor holder, which screws in fairly similar to the filter chamber of the sump. This area is going to be commonly used for the filter sock holder, but can also be filled with biomedia, live rock, or even potentially a smaller refugium. Related to that, this is where the 4-inch filter sock add-on ring would be installed. This is just a loose fit with tabs that hold it reasonably in place and does have a retaining ring and screw for pipe or tubing. The pump module goes into the main chamber of the sump. Again, the primary purpose of this is an additional baffle to reduce any undesirable microbubbles entering the tank. Because the pump box is relatively small, I would strongly advise using it in conjunction with an auto top off to work properly and ensure the pump doesn't run dry. The cool component of this module is it also has a chamber for the filter media accessory. Setting this up is just removing the lid and sponge first, adding the filter media like carbon or a mix of carbon and GFO, reassembling, and then inserting it into one of the baffle areas on the pump module. Net result is a super easy to replace and clean filter cartridge. After that, just set the skimmer and optional lid in place and you're done. Moving on to the Somatic 90, this will be close to the same. The dosing or tube holder goes up top in the first chamber. However, the probe holder is now in the third chamber with the return pump. If you want, one of the larger filter socks holders goes in the same location. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of reefers use this area as a refugium, either in conjunction with the filter socks or without. Skimmer goes in the second area and return pump in the third chamber. One difference here is the available top-off box for evaporation, which uses a simple float valve. Depending on the size of your system and amount of system turnover, it can likely hold enough fresh water to cover a few days. More or less, just fill it with fresh water and set it in place. The float will do all the work. The 120 version is again basically the exact same as the 90, just larger, so it's the same setup. Only difference is the lid and top-off boxes are different sizes. Once you get the system running, the skimmers have two different adjustments. Tuning the standpipe adjusts the water and foam head level. There's also a screw to hold it in place when you find the right level for your system. There's also a valve to adjust the amount of air entering the skimmer. While I know everyone assumes that more air is always better and leaving it wide open is best, I would certainly explore tuning it down and see what works best on your particular system. For whatever reason, new skimmers always seem to take a few weeks to break in and start working, so have a bit of patience. General maintenance for this sump and skimmer package is typical to any similar design. Siphon out the detritus periodically, change out the filter sock as needed, and I would disassemble the skimmer pump and clean it quarterly to ensure the best performance. Soaking it in vinegar or something like Toons' citric acid is ideal. Thanks for watching. If you have any more questions that we didn't answer here, feel free to give us a call, send us an email, or hop on a chat. See you next time on BRStv.